Welcome back, everybody, to the Crossing Swords Intermission Show. I am Dwayne. I am joined by Cullen, intern Cullen. Sabres are in a 2-1 deficit right now after the first period. 3 really fast goals, some absolutely horrendous defense on both sides, especially from Buffalo. I think they scored with 30 seconds into the period on a breakaway, Bushnevich, and then some great pass work on that first line by Eichel, Olofsson, and to Reinhart, and then Lafreniere gets lucky with the deflection in front of the net to make it 2-1. Cullen, how did you feel about that first period?
Not the start obviously we wanted. I thought that was obviously you don't want to give up a goal 30 seconds into a game, but the response was what you wanted to see from your top line. Great passing. Eichel got the breakout going, and then Olofsson with a nice cross-ice pass from Reinhart was there to bury it. That's what you want to see. And then 2.5, 3 minutes later, that first line from the Rangers comes out again and gets another goal. Go down 2-1, and then just a kind of a slow period after that. But it wasn't not what you want to see. Not what you want to see going down 2-1, 4 or 5 minutes into a hockey game. And then even you go on the penalty kill, questionable call on Jack there, but you kill it off, and then you get the chance on the power play and nothing really doing. So, got to come out with better energy. You got to come out and respond that second period how you responded to that first goal, and you just got to get the puck down and get those chances going.
I agree. It was definitely not the way I expected the period to start. Let's be real. Like, they got scored on early. That's not surprising, and the way it happened, not surprising. Total lack of awareness in your own end. And then they come back and they tie it up real quick. And I was like, holy crap, we finally scored a goal. We got one early. Love to see it. Some great work, some good awareness by Olofsson from Olofsson as he waited for that puck to get it over to Sam. You saw him looking over his shoulder, watching Sam drift the net, get that pass over to him to tie the game. And then before we could even get the tweet out, as Buffalo scored from all Trainwreck accounts, it was already 2-1. It was wild, man. But I don't mind seeing the back and forth. I enjoyed it actually because it was exciting hockey, something we have not seen from the Sabres in quite some time. And one of the things too with this the early morning meeting with the media that Ralph did was he said goaltending wasn't the problem. Tonight it looks like it might be a problem.
Yeah, that second goal they had, I don't know what Hutton was doing, trying to dive across, and he did get a piece of it. I want to say most of it was probably luck that he's diving across and gets a piece of it with his glove, and it goes off the Lafreniere and back in the net. But obviously, offense has been a problem. But in this game, getting a goal in the first 2 minutes of the game is something that we haven't seen all year from this team, and let alone a 5-on-5 goal.
I know. When's the last time we consistently got multiple 5-on-5 goals, let alone just one?
Mm-hmm. So, you want to get the puck in the net, but you obviously got to keep it out of your own net. And, I think you said on the pregame show, you're not really mad about how Hutton's playing. But, tonight it hasn't really – the breakaway, I'm not really sure, it's a good offensive player going against a decent goalie. It's most likely going to be a goal every time. But that second goal, I wasn't a fan of how Hutton played it.
Did you happen to hear the Rob Ray monologue about Kyle Okposo there in the first period?
No, I was watching
him kind of pumping Okposo's tires. He's great in the room. He does this one. I'm like, why is he talking up Kyle Okposo like he is not clear as day the biggest anchor on this team right now as far as what's stopping them from being successful outside of the coach? It was wild. And obviously, people watching here, Castle Hawthorne, front of the program, he noticed it as well. It was wild, man. Who in their right mind thinks that Kyle Okposo is contributing anything remotely positive to this team right now?
Yeah, he almost, even at the last 5 minutes of the period, he had tried to clear it out from pretty much no one around him, cleared it out, gets the puck stopped by the blue line by the Rangers, and they come in and get almost a slot chance. He had a decent defensive play to knock him off the puck, but I was just happy to see him not out there on the power play again. That second line, I was thrilled.
Yeah, like Stevie Weeks. That is possibly one of my favorite Twitter handles of all time. I'm a big hockey movie buff, Mr. Alaska. Love it. That is bananas, bumping 24 off that line for 21. That is insanity to me. Like, why?
Yeah, I think I talked about it in the pregame. Like that line when Cousins was in, not when he was up in the press box. When he was in, they're working. That line's good. Cousins and Hall, and even Cousins and Stahl have a really good connection. And put Hall out there, who's going to start finding the net. But yeah, I don't see the reasoning. I don't see the reasoning at all why Okposo's second line. I don't even see it if he's on the third or the fourth line. I don't know why he's in the game.
It just makes me laugh, man. It's just. Like, I don't know what principles Ralph Krueger looks for in order to be a successful hockey team. But clearly, granted, it's only 2-1, but it wasn't working in that first period. It hasn't worked at all this season, really. Let's be real. I can't stand the fact that Kyle Okposo is on the second line. That is absolutely absurd, and I just want to keep talking about that because that's one of the things that if we see that to start the second period, it's just one of a number of head scratching coaching decisions this coach constantly makes week in and week out, game in and game out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm thinking about the two plays where Okposo had two chances in front of the net. And the New York Rangers, I got the live stream for the Rangers. It was the best one I could find. So that's the one I'm watching. And they're going crazy. What a save. 2 unbelievable saves. And I'm like, well, is it really that unbelievable? Because you're stopping a shot from Kyle Okposo. Like, I'm 9 times out of 10, Jeff Skinner's burying that goal. Cousins is probably burying that goal. At least one of the two chances is going to go in. So, yeah, it's unbelievable that Kyle Okposo still is – in the game, let alone has a letter on his. Trevor said in the pregame show, I said it to you on the phone when you said he must have seen something behind the scenes that he shouldn't have, and that's why he's on the second line. It's because he got the A on the jersey. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and it's, I'm sorry. It shouldn't matter how much money you make. Whoever's giving you the best chance to win is who should be in the lineup. Jeff Skinner, for me, gives you a better chance to win in the top 6 than Kyle Okposo. Dylan Cousin gives you a better chance to win. And Kyle Okposo, along with Tage Thompson, gets shot straight to the sun. Send him straight to the sun. Send him to Rochester. Send him to Siberia. Send him to Austria. Send him anywhere as far away from Buffalo, New York as you possibly can, because neither of them do anything remotely positive to help this team win hockey games.
Yeah, I like these lineups that Casual Hawthorne brought out. I mean, everything you said earlier, you'd switch Skinner and Hall there, but I mean, that top 6 is a really good top 6. I mean, Stahl is a serviceable second line center. He's been, I mean, sometimes he hasn't looked that great, but some other times he's looking good. And him and Cousins have that connection. And then, I mean, Olofsson, granted, he had a great pass on that first goal from us, but I mean, he's not a top 6. Might not be a top 6 in 5-on-5 plays. It got a wicked shot for that power play, but I mean, this is how good can this team be if Kruger's putting him in the spots that we don't want to stand?
Like I said, I don't mind the way Stahl is played, but I think he'd be almost better suited on this team as your third line center. I really want to give Dylan Cousins an opportunity to center that second line. I just really feel that from what he's shown us so far, he can handle it. It's not like the Casey Middlestat situation where you brought him in to play center way too early when he wasn't ready because you had no other options. You've given the workhorse from Whitehorse, Dylan Cousins, enough time to develop down in juniors. He did what he had to do. We saw what he did in the World Junior Tournament for Team Canada, and just give him an opportunity at second line center. Put him between Hall and Olofsson. See what happens. Honestly, I just see what happens, and then you roll Stahl down on your third line. You put him between I don't know, put him between Casey Middlestat and whomever. Who would you want to put there? Maybe Sheehan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think as from a depth perspective, that is going to get you more goals and more wins than what they're currently doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks that you can't put goals in the net like put pucks in the net. Like that's obviously the name of the game. Obviously you want to keep them out of your own net, but being able to score is crucial. And the lines that we're seeing out there, one thing that I don't like, I know it's a shortened season, you got to try and find it fast, but we're almost midway through the season here, and like the lines are switching up every 2-3 games. Like who's going to get chemistry like that? And even going back to putting Skinner with Jack, they had that chemistry last year, 2 years ago, when Skinner had that 40-goal season. You know they can play together. So moving him up to that first line and giving him an actual chance rather than, oh, here's one period with Jack. If you guys can't score a goal, then here, we'll put you up in the press box again. Like that makes no sense to me. Give these guys the time. I know it's a shortened season. You got to find it fast, but give them more than 2 games to get that consistency down and playing with each other. Because if you can't have that consistency, like I said it before with Cousins and Stahl, I mean, I know you want to see Cousins as a second-line center, but they have good chemistry. They're playing well together.
They do.
And then you just all of a sudden, that Cousins is in the press box. He's been working for us. He's putting in the work down in the zone. But yeah, give him a day off, because that's what this team really needs.
Yeah, I agree. Like my only point on the Cousins thing is, yes, that line has been good for Buffalo. They've shown some chemistry. They've shown some continuity. But my thing of it is, even with them playing as well as they have, it still hasn't worked. That's why I'm not against just giving Dylan a chance at his true position at center and just see if it works. See if he can handle the role of being a top 6 centerman right now. And then if it does, and if it works out in your favor and you hit that one out of the park, you roll Eric Stahl down as your 3rd-line center. You roll Cody Eakin down as your 4th-line center. And now you look pretty good down the middle through all your 4 of your lines. You're asking Cody Eakin to not do as much, in your top set, obviously in your top 9. But I think Cody Eakin would fit well in there as your 4th-line center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's been doing well in his that 3rd line's position, but obviously
want to get more out of him.
Yeah, exactly, and he's not trying to do too much, but I guess Kruger's kind of asking him to do more than he's either capable of or that he's shown that he can do, being on that 3rd line, especially when the top 2 lines aren't producing. We talked about the pregame, Middlestat should be in there. He's played pretty well for how we've seen him play in the past. So putting him on that 3rd line with Stahl, I think that would be a really good clip.
Yep. We got from Stevie Business here, is Hutton fried as a goal in the NHL? I don't know, man. That looks pretty bad to start off the period, especially when I was saying, hey, Hutton hasn't been a problem. He's been playing well. Gets scored 2 out of the first 3 or 4 shots. Awesome. Again, you can't really put too much blame on that breakaway. Broken up play in front of the net on that second one and the Lafreniere goal. So, I'm not going to put too much blame on him, even though you'd like to see a save there right early, so you're not in a hole early. But, hopefully he comes out here in the second and he plays a little bit better. But with that being said, obviously we're going to get ready here for the start of the second period. But before we do, support for the Crossing Swords Intermission Report is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they obsess over the technology developments to provide you with the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Manscaped.com. Get yourself the Lawnmower 3.0 or many of the different lotions and deodorants for your family jewels that comes with. If you use the code word TRAINWRECK, all capital letters TRAINWRECK, you get 20% off plus free shipping. That's TRAINWRECK, TRAINWRECK. 20% off free shipping. We will cut it to the start of the second period as they're getting ready to do puck drop now. We will see you guys between the second and the third period. Let's go Sabres.